Imagine not taking a for a week, like, and just having it backed up in you. You need to release that. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. I know it's been a while and we are getting right back into the YouTube content. We don't have a consistent schedule yet, but the only thing that we will be is consistent. So the videos may be random right now, but I promise I will get on a schedule once I just start putting out the content and I actually show myself that I can be consistent. So I seen another creator do this video. It was like 25 lessons in 25 years. I didn't actually watch her video because right when I seen the title, I'm like, oh my God, I love that idea. So I just literally, I'm like, okay, I don't know how, if there's like a certain format, but I'm like, we're just gonna do it. So let's just jump right into it. From my take, I'm just going to share with you guys 31 lessons that I have learned over my 31 years of living. And let me tell you, these last 4 or 5 years have been jam-packed with lots of lessons. So I'm going to share them with you in no particular order. They come from books that I've read, from experience, just everything that I've been through. So if you find any of these tips helpful, comment down below which ones were your favorite, if you had multiple, or just comment down a life lesson that has been important to you on your journey. Number one is everything happens for a reason. I have believed this for so long, and even if you can't see the reason of why something is happening, it's probably for your greater good. And before, I would be like, say if I wanted something and it didn't happen on the time that I wanted it to, or it just looked different by the time I did receive it, it's because it happened that way for a reason. And I have learned to just trust that things are happening for me and not to me, and just be grateful. And that, like, if I'm supposed to have something, I will have it. And if I don't get it, it's because there's something better for me. I just trust that I'll always be provided for, and that the things in my life that are happening are for a reason, whether it's a lesson that I need to learn or an experience, just whatever it is, everything happens for a reason. Number two, the person you marry is a reflection of you, and they're there to help you heal. So I have learned a lot of lessons in marriage, and early on I was very triggered by a lot of things. Something I realized, I mean, and this applies to all relationships, not just marriage, but the person you're married to, you spend the most time with typically, and that's who you're closest to. But the things that they trigger in you need to come out. So it's like, use that opportunity to actually heal from it, because you wouldn't be triggered if you didn't still have a wound somewhere. Like if a tree just brushed up against your arm somewhere where you were just cut, it's gonna hurt. But if a tree brushes up against your arm where you're healed, it's not gonna hurt. So if it hurts, if something is like brushing up against a wound that you have, it's because it's still lodged in there and you need to release it. And so that has been a very challenging lesson, is to really just like look at myself and like heal from my triggers. Like that has been like a huge part of my journey. So if you're getting triggered in your friendships, your relationships with your parents, it's because you have wounds that you need to heal. Number three, worry and anxiety are not helpful. I have been a chronic worrier, and I've had really bad anxiety that I can say now I do not have, but it's not helpful. At any point in my journey, did worry and anxiety help me? Like, you just have to trust. I love the saying that you can't have faith and fear at the same time. You literally have to pick. Releasing worry and anxiety and trusting and knowing that there's like something out there that wants you to live your best life has just been giving me peace and comfort, and to help me feel better, and to just like release that worry, like, and know I will always be provided for. Number four is owning your feelings. This has been huge for me because it's easy to blame other people why we feel the way we feel, when in fact nobody can make us feel anything. Yeah, their actions may have caused an emotional response out of us, but at the end of the day, nobody can make you feel anything without your permission. And so this has made me change my mindset from like a victimhood, like, oh, you did this to me, versus like, this person did this and now it's causing me to feel like this. And just owning your own feelings and knowing that like we are responsible for our emotional world and not putting that off on other people. And it's just really helped me to take responsibility for myself in all aspects, and to just not like blame others. Like, hey, I'm mad because blank. I'm sad because blank. Not you made me mad, you made me sad. No, how somebody shouldn't even have that much control over you that they're able to do that. So I feel like reframing your wording when you have an emotional reaction and just like owning your feelings is like really like the first step to like actually being able to heal. Number 5, people do things because of them, not because of you. And you can't take it personal. Like right now I'm dealing with something with a hairstylist and I'm ready to crash out. And like, you know, it's easy to take it personal. Like, oh, well, she hasn't delivered on her expectations because it's like personal against me. No, whatever reason why she hasn't completed my wig has nothing to do with me. That's her and her own shit. And so it's like being able to like separate like and not take people's actions personally. It's helped me to like just feel better overall. Just an example. You're in a friendship and your friend's behavior is upsetting you and you're taking it so personal as if it's an attack against you when she just had a bad day. Like her and her man just broke up or whatever is going on in her personal life, you know? And like, so just like being able to separate that and like see things from like a broader perspective and really stop taking things so personal. Like, I don't know, it's just helped me to realize like people are not like intentionally trying to do stuff to like cause harm against me. Number 6. And this one was a big one for me. Men are not the enemy. I know that there's like such a rhetoric out there that just puts men as like these like horrible people that are like looking to cause harm against women. And don't get me wrong, there are some men that are out there, but this applies to healthy men. Men are not our enemy. Like they are our counterpart and they ultimately are here to serve us. And I had such like a I hate men mentality when I was younger, and I would just like talk so bad about men. It just makes me really sad to think like how so many women are publicly like just like berating men, you know? And like, not to say that men aren't doing the same thing, because they are, but like I feel like we both play a part in this dynamic of like hating each other and just like talking down on one another. And it's like, when you're dealing with a healthy man, that healthy man literally is there to serve you and he will do anything to make you happy. And just realizing that has helped me to change my dynamic with any man in my life, the way that I communicate with him, the way that like express myself, just everything. And I feel like it's been very powerful. I like just healing my relationships because I grew up with daddy issues. So trust, best in belief, I grew up hating men. And it's like, it's so crazy because it's like you can't hate men but also want to be with one. Like, that don't work like that, you know? Number 7, you will make yourself sick holding stuff in. Speak up on how you're feeling. This has been big for me because for so many years, I would not express myself. Like, say if something happened in like a situation, I wouldn't say anything. Like, I would just try to keep the peace. And I realized like how like damaging that is to myself, because it's like I'm trying to keep the peace, maybe to protect the other person's feelings, and that entire time I am like hurting myself. Like, so what am I actually keeping the peace? Like, where's the peace at? Because I don't have it. And so like now I've realized if something bothers me, I need to say it right then and there. Like, hey, I don't like that. Hey, I don't want you to do that to me. Hey, and it doesn't have to be rude. I don't gotta cuss nobody out. But like, no, like saying how I feel, like even good things. Like, say if someone does something very nice to me, in that moment, I should say, hey, that was really nice. I really appreciate that. And just like expressing my feelings more. Overall, like that is what it is. It's like expressing your feelings. Like if you don't express your feelings and like share your feelings with the people that you can trust and be vulnerable with, and you just keep that like lodged in your body, like, that's not good. Imagine not taking a shit for a week, like, and just having it backed up in you. You need to release that. Like, and I feel like it's the same thing with emotions. Like, you need to like release that every single day. So I really make it a point to express my emotions daily to my husband, to just the people that I'm talking with, because I can be very like closed off, and I'm like, people need to know what's going on with me. So I need to make sure I take that initiative and actually express my emotions. Because if you don't say anything, then how are people going to know? They're just going to assume you're okay. again, like holding in stress, like that can literally make you physically ill. Number 8, true confidence doesn't need to speak. You don't got to say nothing. For me, in my journey of like just like growing into my confidence, the more quiet I become, because it's going to speak for itself. My energy is going to speak for me. I ain't got to say shit. I just walk in the room with my head high, with my shoulders back, and my energy on, and just like so high and like vibrating so high. Like, you don't have to say nothing. If you're confident and you feel good, people are going to feel that shit when you walk in the room. Number 9, you will keep dealing with the same problems in a relationship if you don't heal them. So my theme in my early 20s was daddy issues. So the entire time you're blaming the other person and their actions and all that stuff. And you break up with them, you get to the next relationship, and it's the same thing. And you're going to keep experiencing the same thing unless you stop and heal. And the way that I did that in my life was just feel my feelings. Because a lot of times, like with a trigger, all it wants to do is be acknowledged, and then it's going to be released. But we are so afraid to feel those feelings that we try to push it down. So we just break up with the person, and then you don't date, and then you get back in a relationship 6 months later. It starts off all good, and then boom, before you know it, you're dealing with the same problem. Because if you didn't do anything in that 6 months period to actually deal with those wounds, the shit's gonna keep coming up. So you have to just own your feelings. Wait, what is this about? You have to deal with your problems. Like, you can't run away from them because they're going to be there. You take you wherever you go. You can't move to a new city and try to run away from your problems, a new relationship, a new friendship, nothing. You cannot run away from yourself. So you might as well, whatever's triggering you, whatever's going on underneath the surface, you might as well deal with it and release it so you can just be happy and not have to deal with that problem anymore. Number 10, just a disclaimer, I can get a little woo-woo, but I am into quantum physics, and I read like Dr. Joe Dispenza, huge fan of his books. One of the principles that he speaks about is you have to think greater than you feel to change your reality. And this has been so pivotal for me, because it's like even Abraham, what's his name? Abraham Lincoln? No, the math dude. Abraham Lincoln was the president. What is that man's name? The mathematician. I don't know. Einstein. Albert Einstein. Him. So he says no level of problem can be solved from the same consciousness that created. So in order to solve whatever problem that you're dealing with, you're going to have to think greater. You have to like remove yourself out of the problem to be able to solve it. You know, like you need to have like a bird's eye view of the problem so that you can solve it. Okay, so every day we're like programmed on autopilot to like think a certain way, and then we feel a certain way, and that produces thoughts, and it's like this like cycle of like thinking, feeling, thinking, feeling, thinking, feeling. So you have to break that continuity. So like say, all right, my husband makes me mad, he does something to make me mad, and automatically I go into my programming of like shutting down, being quiet, doing the silent treatment, yada, 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 yada. That's not going to change my reality, because that's how I always respond. Now, say he does the same thing, but I choose to respond different. I choose to look at it from a different perspective. Like, oh, maybe he didn't mean it. Maybe he didn't take it. You know, whatever I choose, whatever new perspective that I choose to see it from. Now, say if I do that again and again and again and again, then I get to have a different reality, because I change the way that I was thinking. And it's like, that's what you have to do with like circumstances in your life. It's like when there's a problem, and instead of complaining, you choose to be grateful. And like, I feel like that's how you like break those cycles, and you respond differently, and you allow better, greater things to come into your life, because now you're not responding in that same triggered way that you're used to responding. Number 11, don't trust your feelings the week before your cycle. Don't trust them. When I tell you I go manic like right now, I'm in my manic phase. So like, I told myself like, all right, whatever you thinking right now, take it with a grain of salt. Like, do not get so caught up in your feelings, because it's so crazy. I'm like, why didn't I realize this? As long as I've had a period, it took me all these years to like actually realize like, girl, you can't trust your thinking at this time. Number 12, pivoting careers is not bad, and sometimes it's necessary. As someone, I'm on my 3rd pivot right now, and it's like before I would like put like, actually I don't even know if I did this, but I feel like on this last one, like coming from aesthetics now into real estate, and I just felt really like, dang, you know, I can't stick to one thing and yada, yada, yada. Some people have a traditional path where they can work at the same job for 20 years and that's okay. And that works for them. But some people, maybe they get to that 5-year mark where they get that itch and they want to do something different, and that's okay. It's like everybody's journey is different. And I've learned to like honor that and actually be okay with it, instead of like trying to like shame myself for switching careers because I'm not on a traditional path. And honestly, I'm unconventional. So nothing about the way that I do things are normal. So yeah, I've learned to just like own it and accept it instead of like shaming myself. Number 13, consistency is the key. Like, it's so underrated, but it's so, so true. Like, I even think about how I've had this hiatus on YouTube and now I'm back here after like 5 years. And I'm just thinking like, imagine where I could have been if I didn't stop, you know? And like, of course I would be so much further along, but I can't harp over the past. But consistency is such like the underrated answer that everybody is looking for. We all want to know like, what's the magic formula? Consistency. That's it. Whatever it is you're doing in the gym, you got to be consistent to see results. Whatever it is across the board, be consistent. Number 14, gratitude will bring you closer to your desires. You know, like, I know we hear like be grateful, appreciate, but it's really true. What you appreciate appreciates. And like, I was a chronic complainer and I really had to stop complaining. And I feel like the more grateful I am, my life is getting better and better and better and better. When they say that's like the language of the universe, I truly believe that. And I really I am so intentional with my gratitude. And it's be grateful for what you have to get more. That's it. Number 15, your desires are so powerful. And as a woman, you need to stay connected to them. I have always been a woman, a girl that wanted everything. And I felt like I had a lot of shame around wanting a lot of things. But now I'm like, no, fuck that. You're absolutely right. I want everything. I want it all and some. But it's like a woman's desire is what keeps the world going. Like, if you think about the way men are very simple. They're okay with living in a cave until a woman came and was like, all right, we need some couches and decoration. Women, our desires are what keeps this world going. And it's like, that's why men work so hard, is for our desires, you know? And like, now I just know how powerful my desires are outside of men, myself alone. And, you know, like, I don't feel bad for my desires. Like, I allow my desires to like guide me, and I just really stay connected with them and just allow it to like be my guiding light. Number 17, pleasure is a woman's birthright. And it goes back to like the desire thing. Like, our desire and our pleasure are like, it's such like a big part of being a woman. Like, think about like all the things that we enjoy doing, and it's just like, just for the fun of it, even if it's not gonna like bring out nothing's gonna come of it, but it just feels good. And like, before I was a woman, like, I'm still goal oriented, but now like I've learned to just be more in like my pleasure, what feels good, what tastes good, like, you know, like what smells good. And it's like, that is where our power is. It's like in our pleasure, in our desire. And it's been a very powerful lesson for me. Number 19, we set the standard of how others treat us. Well, people get a vibe and they know what is okay and what's not okay. And that applies to all relationships across the board. Number 21, this is also kind of like a relationship, marriage, whatever you want to say. Men are providers naturally. So when they aren't, something is off. Like, there's a saying that all men are providers, but all men aren't providing. And this applies, we're talking about healthy men. I'm not talking about the cuckoos out there. This is not who this is about. But it's like, if they're not doing that, then there's something off with our energy. And it's not to blame the woman, but it's to own our energy and like how we are showing up, because that is their natural That is their natural state, is to give. So if naturally they want to give and they're not giving, something must be off. Again, this applies to healthy men. Number 22, stop blaming others. Take full responsibility for my life and my energy, and things will change. I feel like this really goes with like having a victim mentality. A victim mentality is like when you're just like blaming others for what happened to you. Things have happened to all of us. It's very unfortunate. It's not always fair, but what we choose to do with that is what determines the outcome of our life. Like we could, again, I go back to the way that I was raised. My dad wasn't there. I was raised by my stepdad. And I could sit here and blame my dad that he's the reason why I wasn't able to have a successful relationship. Or I could be like, okay, this happened to me, but now I'm choosing to move forward instead of like constantly blaming him. Like at a certain point, we all got to take responsibility, because it's a choice of how we choose to respond. So stop blaming, take responsibility, and own your shit. Number 23, when you change, they change, because it changes 50% of the dynamic. So if you're constantly saying, oh, they won't change, they won't change, they won't change, what you're really saying is you won't change. Because when you change, the other person has to change, because a relationship is 100%. So when 50% changes, when you change your 50%, the other 50% is bound to change. So you have to, if you want that person to change, you change. Simple as that. And like that has been that was a big thing for me. And like, oh, they're not doing this, they're not doing this. Change your own dynamic. That's it. Change your own dynamic and watch that person change. Number 24, take risk. Now I know this is like counterintuitive or is it counterintuitive? Do I want to say counterintuitive? I think so. To the way women naturally are, we naturally don't take risk. You're just like a highly ambitious woman. Like, I feel like it's so important for us to take risk. And this is going to go into my number 25, but it's, if you have a nudge to do something, do it. Do not hold yourself back. When I tell you, I have been wanting to move for a long time, and I was just like letting it fester inside of me. And I just I wasn't fully happy with where I was. And like, finally it just got so big that I'm like, okay, I'm out of here. But it's like, if you have that nudge, like that is your guidance, like you have to follow that. Your perspective shapes your reality. Like we're all seeing things from different perspectives. Like I've had my life experiences, and that's caused me to see things a certain way, and you've had yours and it causes you to see things a certain way. But our perspective is just our perspective. It doesn't make it, it's our truth, but it doesn't mean it's the ultimate truth. Like you may have had terrible relationships with women, so your belief is that, oh, women can't be trusted, women are catty, women are X, Y, and Z. That's not an ultimate truth. It's just true for you because that's your experience. Because you come talk to me and I'm like, oh no, I've had beautiful relationships with women. I love women. I love yada, yada, yada. So it's like, your reality, your perspective shapes your reality. And the beautiful thing about it is that you always have the option to change it. Just because you believe women are catty and they're not, they're this and they're that, you have all these negative beliefs, you have the ability to change it. Like anything that we believe, we can always change it. So you can always change your reality by changing your beliefs. Number 28, you're triggered and unhealed. You see things from a distorted view. And this is so crazy because it's like trauma, changes the brain. It changes the way that we see things. You may be perceiving danger when danger is not actually there because your brain has been affected by the trauma that you've been through. And that's why it's so important to heal, so that you can see things as they are and not from your like distorted view. Like you may be perceiving, like I feel like even like I still experience this. Like you may be perceiving like someone to be untrustworthy because of past experiences, when in reality, that's not the case. It's just your view is distorted because of trauma. Number 29, the moment you release the original wound of a traumatic event, you'll stop being triggered. I think I kind of talked about this earlier, but it's that simple. It is that simple to triggers. You don't have to go to therapy for years. You ain't got to do all that shit. Sit down, process it, move on. and like let's keep it pushing. That's how I like to go forward, because it's like I don't want to stay stuck in my trauma. I don't want to be talking about this shit for years. I don't want to be sitting on some lady couch talking about what happened to me when I was 5 for, you know, like, no, like sit down, process it, move on, and like let's keep it pushing. And number 30, you can see that like triggers have been a big part of lessons for me. You're triggered because you're holding on to the original wound, and anything that feels like the original wound will cause an emotional reaction out of you. So again, you have to let go of that original wound. If you were 5 years old and you've experienced the wound of betrayal, so now anything that feels like betrayal, you're going to feel triggered by. Now you're 30 years old and you're feeling this betrayal wound because you never actually released the wound of the original event when you were 5 years old. Release that original wound from when you were 5 and you can be free of the trigger. Number 31, the last one. More stuff cannot fill the void. More money was not going to make you happier. It's so sad to say. Yes, money, we need money, and money does bring us happiness, but if you have a void that you're trying to fill, putting money there or whatever your choice of like coping is, alcohol, partying, whatever it is, it's not going to fill the void. Like more of nothing will not make you feel better. It won't. Like you have to really deal with the root of the problem, and then that's what'll make you feel better. Then you can actually enjoy the things. You can actually find enjoyment in like real things that you want to enjoy. I didn't mean to turn this into a therapy session, but I'm so passionate about like mindset and healing, because I think that like your mindset and where you are in your healing journey is like in direct proportion to like your happiness and how you thrive in life. And yeah, I'm just very passionate about that. So I hope this video was helpful. You found some like good lessons that I have learned over these 31 years. And make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video.